Oh. What? Look at that. How does that happen? I guess that fish pulled, that little guy pulled my jig underneath that log. That actually looks pretty good. Might pitch that around a little bit. What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of the 10 Horse Monty YouTube channel. And this morning I started out throwing a frog and just really wasn't happening. There's been rumor of a shad spawn going over here, and I got out here late, didn't see that happening. I talked to Ron and Hammy, and they had been catching some fish, but they weren't really focused on the shad spawn. They didn't really see anything going on. I've seen a few birds, but nothing to make me, think that it's really going on. Of course, it's later in the morning. I always get out here late. But so I've covered some water. There's a swim jig bite going on. Kind of caught some fish doing that, last week. And I'm seeing a lot of wood down here. Something that happens in the spring is the fish really relate hard to wood. They use it for spawning. They use it, pre-spawn, post-spawn, and during the spawn. So I'm gonna pick up a jig. I'm gonna test out this new jig from Cumberland Pro Lures, the pig jig. I'm gonna flip it around. If I can't get bit on the jig, I'll make some adjustments and try soft plastics. But I think we're just gonna run some wood for a while, see if we can get a few bites. Holy moly. A big old fish, whatever it was. Go guys, good solid fish, man. Just testing out. This is a new Cumberland Pro Lures pig jig, man. I broke off a giant while ago. I'm fishing too light a line. I got 15-pound test. This is like my football jig rod, but just thought I'd go down this bank. There's a lot of laydowns, a lot of bluegill, a lot of grass, turtles, bait. It just looks alive, and flipping these laydowns. And third bite I've had, I broke the first one off, and it was a lot bigger than this one, but this is a pretty good solid fish. So we're gonna kind of run this pattern a little bit, see if we can make something happen. It's not a swim jig. There's a bite right there. And they're on these laydowns. There he is. Got him. Right on that laydown. He hit it once. Flipped it back in there and got it again. Big jig fish. Get in here. Man, these fish are fat, boy. Look at that. What a fat fish. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're setting up on beds underneath there or what. Or they're just feeding up because of the shad spawn. But got some bellies on them, man. There we go. Kind of digging the old pig jig, man. You know, it's a little bit of spawning going on, post spawn, a lot of post spawn fish. And like we mentioned in some of my previous videos, wood laydowns are just key areas in the spring. These fish that have been spawning, well, they'll set up and they'll spawn underneath them, and after the spawn they kind of hang around them. There's a lot of bluegill that use laydowns, bait fish, or just good ambush points, and that's what we're doing right now, man. We're flipping a jig. Just this is a 1/2 ounce Cumberland Pro Pig Jig, and I've got a Yum crawl chunk, 3.25, just green pumpkin purple, and the color of this is called Wild Grape, I believe. I'll grab the package just so I don't mislead you on the name, but let's let this girl back. Yep, it's called Wild Grape. So far it's been a wild color. I'm liking it. Bite. Working down this bank, there's lay down about every, I don't know, 30 feet or so. Just pitching in there and kind of shaking it. I think there might be some that are spawning still right in this little area. Something to really pay attention to. I mean, looking here on this grass line, you can't see any wood. It's underneath the water, but if you look on the bank, you can see how these laydowns come off and they go underneath the grass. So always, not necessarily look at where you're going to be pitching, but look up on the bank behind it to find that cover that's down underneath the grass and sticking out off the front of that grass. There he is. Yeah, there. Little guy. And I would. Come here. Come here. They are relating to wood. No doubt about it. I just want to talk a little bit more about what I'm doing here. So I'm back in this little cove. You can see here on the map, just a little cut right here. The water's 79.6 degrees on the Lowrance, and we've got 77.12 on the Garmin, and all I'm doing is just covering water looking for wood. They're really relating to wood today. A lot of bluegill in the area. There's bluegill beds, so if you can find wood next to a bluegill bed, you're almost going to guaranteed to get a bite. So we're just covering water. You know, the water clarity is probably it's 2 foot right here where I'm at, probably 3 foot, and out on the main lake it's more like 5 or 6. So that winter stain is gone. These fish are kind of starting to get thinking about going out deep, kind of a transition. There's a lot of stuff going on. I haven't been out deep. I'm just focusing on this wood shallow, and we're going to cover a little more water. Just kind of a textbook spot. You got a bluegill beds right up here. You got a big lay down right next to it. This is a place where they can come out and hang out, and the bass can just rest right here on this lay down. And then when they want to go feed, they got a smorgasbord right there. So this is a kind of a high percentage area. Okay, what we're going to do, I mean, I'm throwing a 1/2 ounce jig, and we're kind of getting away from the good stuff, but I'm going to rig up a 3/8 ounce jig, basically the same color, maybe a slight variation, but I want to have that 1/2 ounce jig and that 3/8 ounce jig on the deck, because fall rate is critical. I want to make sure I'm not missing something, the slower fall rate, because I'm seeing a lot of bluegill. I feel like I should be getting some bites even when I'm not targeting the laydowns. So I need to set that up. I got, you know, soft plastic, like a beaver rigged on one of my rods, and I'm going to take that off and put that 3/8 ounce jig. Rig it up, same trailer, that Yum Crawl Chomp 3.25. Just have to find the right jig. I got a whole bag of jigs here, guys. Just kind of testing all this. Blue Bayou. So that's the color that I broke off that really big fish on. So we're going to throw that on there. It's not, I mean, here's the two colors. This is the Wild Grape, this is the Blue Bayou. So really not too much of a difference. But we're gonna try this Blue Bayou just to see. So here's the two different jigs. This is the 1/2 ounce right here. This is the 3/8. This is the Wild Grape, Blue Bayou. So there's difference in the colors a little bit, but the main difference I'm concerned with is the fall rate. It's definitely got, these are both really good looking jigs. Spin that skirt around a little bit. These are all handmade, United States. Down in Georgia, the lead is poured, hooks are installed, weed guard, painted, the whole 9 yards, all here in the good old United States of America. Sucks. Look at that. I was hung on the side of that log. Tell me they ain't on wood. My jig was hung on the side of that log, and I'm popping it, and I'm kind of disappointed because there's some other good laydowns in here. I was going back to just cruising up there to get my jig off that log, and all of a sudden my line just started shooting off. That fish picked it up. So it's a good fish, man. Saved me a jig. Well, I got the auto Trieve, so I would have got it back, but it's nice to not even have to use that. I'm still liking this jig, man. Oh, look at the tail on that thing. Got a big old wide tail. And post spawner. Thanks, buddy. Get back in the lake. Jesus, crazy fish. There he is. Another jig fish. .3/8 ounce. Get up in here. Fish thumped it. That fish thumped that jig. Hit it like you're supposed to. Hit it like it was 7 pounds. I'll take it. Yep. Seems like they're on this little bit slower fall, just a little bit lighter jig. For whatever reason, fish are crazy. This is a good looking jig. There he is. Man. Set up right on that point. I don't know if there's bluegill spawning up there or what the deal is, but we got a little bit of wind blowing in here. And just got this boat kind of on spot lock. And the laydown bite kind of went away. I kept trying to make it happen, running around, just was not happening. So I started fishing some main lake points, and I'm getting a little bit of feedback. A little bit of feedback. Got that boat loaded down to the max. Oh, I missed him in there. Cracking this jig. Oh my God. We got freaking Moby, guys. We got Moby. That might be a catfish. catfish. Oh my God. No, it's not a catfish. It's a giant bass. Look at that. That's a freaking tank. That fish is... Come here. Oh, look at that, my friends. Holy come on. Dang. Yes, sir. Think I like this jig? I think I like this jig. What do you think about that, boys and girls? This might be my favorite jig. Cumberland Pro Lures Pig Jig. Hopefully his audio isn't horrible. Man, that is a stud of a fish. Just out here off these points. Fishing slow and low, man. God, it's a nice fish. That is a tank. Wow. Oh, look at that beauty. It's a beauty, mate. Let's let her go. Beautiful fish. Digging that jig, man. Digging that jig. Come on, honey. Oh, yeah. Get on out of here. That's what I'm talking about. Jig out on the points. There he is. That's a good fish. Went to that 3/8 ounce jig. Good solid fish. I'm really liking this jig, folks. Out here off this point. Come here, buddy. Gotcha. There we go, folks. Old pig jig in the wig. Loving this jig, man. Hey, give me a thumbs up if you appreciate the content, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Had a fun day out here. Missed some really big fish, caught some decent fish. Overall, pretty fun day. Bounced around, tried a lot of stuff, but spent a lot of time experimenting with this jig, and this was the 3/8 ounce. You know, I was throwing that half most of the day. I can't even hardly get it out. That fish was not coming off. There you go. I think I got it now. I think that's called the Blue Bayou. Just got a little 3 1/4 inch yum crawl chunk. Nice fish. Fun day. Go check these out. They have them on, they don't have them on Tackle Warehouse yet. You have to go to cumberlandprolures.com, and they do have a special on these. All 7 colors, any size. It's like $20-something. So really cheap. You can try all 7 colors. So check that deal out. Till next time.